G'day guys, MAT5 here, and today I'll be reviewing Assassin's Creed Unity. So Assassin's Creed Unity is a third-person, historic, stealth action-adventure title which was developed by Ubisoft Montreal that I reviewed on the PlayStation 4. It has been an ongoing series spanning over a number of different games set in a number of different time periods throughout history. And the main plot for any Assassin's Creed game is the ongoing rivalry between the Assassins and the Templars, two secret societies battling against each other all throughout history. So your role in most Assassin's Creed games is that you're an assassin that tries to take down the Templars and foil whatever plans they have, and usually your character has their own vendetta against them for many different reasons. In Assassin's Creed Unity you play as Arno Dorian, who as a child his father is murdered. Not knowing his father was actually an assassin, he is then adopted by a Templar Grand Maester without any knowledge of the two societies at all. He then witnesses the Grand Maester's death and is falsely imprisoned for the murder. While in prison, he ends up meeting the assassins and decides to join the Brotherhood to help foil the Templars' plans, while also getting revenge for the Grand Maester's murder. So in many ways, the plot is very similar to others in the series, but I personally love a decent revenge story, and I felt it was told reasonably well in Unity, although I had a hard time following all of these French names, and most of the time wasn't sure who they were talking about. All around though, the characters, while being well acted and portrayed, I felt that most of them were quite forgettable. Arno himself though is quite a likeable character, being both charming and deadly, and I also like his love interest, Elise. She is the daughter of your adopted father, who turns out to be a Templar as well, but I found she was the most interesting character and I enjoyed the interactions between herself and Arno. So the main highlight of any Assassin's Creed game is open world, parkour, stealth action gameplay, and it's no different in this entry. Paris is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I don't know what Paris looked like in the 17th century, but the architecture of the buildings is beautiful, and the AI that fills the world also add to this. There are so many people on screen at once now, with each of them carrying out different and varied actions. From holding hands walking down the street to participating in the French Revolution. Everyone has something to do, and this all adds up to create a convincing, realistic world. And this brings us to what you'll be doing for the majority of the game. Lots and lots of parkour. A staple of the series being able to run up any building, able to grab any little ledge to scale huge skyscrapers, and then doing an eagle dive down below into some hay bales, which would totally kill, by the way. Sprinting and jumping across rooftops, the player is able to go pretty much anywhere, and in Unity the movement is at times even more fluid than before. Arno twists and turns around objects and makes for a swifter movement system, and for the first time in the series you can now free run down the sides of buildings. In the past it used to be quite a challenge to get down the side of a building. Arno can now swiftly and safely descend down the sides of buildings with a touch of a button. Although extremely useful, at times this can be quite glitchy, with Arno teleporting down the side of buildings to grab specific ledges. In fact, lots of the parkour in this game feels a lot more unrealistic than before, and half the time it looks like Arno is flying from ledge to ledge. Also, when you're trying to climb those really difficult buildings that require a lot more accuracy, I felt he never really wanted to go in the direction that I wanted him to, and just got frustrating. The combat system in Unity has also been reworked to make it feel more heavy and realistic. You can really feel every single strike and the impact of every single block. They have also added a 5-point level system for you and your enemies. The more points that they have, the more powerful they are, and if you don't have the points to match it, you will most likely be killed by that enemy. To counteract this, the game encourages you to learn new skills and to purchase improved weapons and armor that add a number of stats to Arno, therefore improving your level. This does sound interesting in theory, adding a more RPG element to Unity, but I felt that it was underdeveloped and because of that ultimately unnecessary. The system is just hard to fully understand. There were times where I bought new equipment, but my level never raised. I just feel that the game would have been perfectly fine without this 5-level system, and just base it on upgradable stats from purchased weapons and armor, along with the player's natural fighting skill as with previous games in the series. So let's get to some things I really liked about Unity. For starters, the main story assassination missions. Usually at least once per sequence, you end up having to carry out an assassination, giving the player the choice of how how to carry out the assassination. This is certainly a step in the right direction for the series. This is what I've wanted since the very first game. You have the freedom to get to your target however the way you want to, and assassinate them however you want to, which gives the game more of a Hitman feeling, which is what I've always wanted from the Assassin's Creed series. Sure, it may not be as extremely detailed as the Hitman series, but at least it's a step in the right direction, as it allows you to explore the environment, find openings, distractions, and opportunities. Along with the story missions, there are of course a variety of side missions for you to take on, from simply taking on a mission from a random NPC, to doing missions for your cafe theatre, to unlock upgrades for it. But the most interesting side mission that I really liked was the murder mysteries. There are a large number of these mysteries, and it pretty much gives you the opportunity to become an old school detective. You have to explore the crime scene to find evidence, talk to witnesses, and explore a number of different areas, and the final judgment is all up to you. These missions are quite well made, and they can be quite difficult as you're sifting through all your evidence, reading every little thing, to piece together what happened and who done it. To me, the rest of the side missions were pretty same old, from collecting items, exploring areas, and killing lots of people, so the murder mysteries really stood out for me. Speaking of missions, the one mission I used to hate doing in Assassin's Creed games is the tailing missions. But fortunately, now it's a lot easier than before, as you are now able to see your target through walls, so failing this mission doesn't happen as much as it used to. Also, another annoying addition that has been more resolved in Unity are the uninteresting Abstergo sections. In past games, these sections are set in the present, in which you have to complete little tasks that are uninteresting, and the story around it is just really confusing. I usually always just stick to the past storyline, and don't really show much interest in the Abstergo storyline, but sometimes you can't avoid this, as they usually overlap from time to time. But in Unity, there are pretty much no Abstergo sections at all. Every now and then, somebody talks to you about your current objective, but that's about it. The only thing you'll ever have to do is that from time to time the system glitches, and hackers are trying to find you, so you have to go through a system that takes you back to different time periods, such as when the Eiffel Tower was built. These sections are a hell of a lot more interesting than any Abstergo section, and you get to climb the bloody Eiffel Tower. How awesome is that? Alright, so these are all the things that I really enjoyed about Unity, but of course there are a fair few downfalls. First off, the most criticized issue for any reviewer is that the game is buggy. It is glitchy. At times it is just broken. Now, I did experience some of these issues. Some. That's the key word here. Yes, sometimes I experienced frame rate issues, but luckily not completely game breaking. The game crashed on me a couple of times, and yes, maybe once I fell through the environment. Now yes, these can be game breaking issues, but I have an issue with the other reviewers on this one. I find that some reviewers are criticizing the game unfairly, and I'm going to tell you why I think this. They are reacting negatively towards the game based on bugs they may have never actually encountered. Now, most people know of the most popular bug from Unity is this one that is used in almost any review of this game. But some of the time the reviewers actually have never seen this bug other than from the web, and I myself didn't see it either. I actually read that this bug was supposedly only on the unpatched version of the PC version of the game. So if this is true and the reviewers are criticizing it on a bug they didn't experience, it's just really unfair towards the game and the developers. Sure, of course there are plenty of bugs in Unity, but when it comes to that, it just feels wrong to me. Other problems that I had is that I found the skill tree and the equipment in the game to be quite limited and uninteresting. For a game to hook me in and make me want to earn experience to upgrade my character, I really need interesting abilities that I want to drive towards, but sadly I just didn't have that drive in this game. And as for the equipment, the most you really get is a portable hand dart crossbow, which of course is quite useful, but you don't really get anything else besides this. And of course, one of the biggest issues of all, they took out the ships and the hunting, which was made really fun and interesting in Black Flag. Black Flag was the first game in the series since Assassin's Creed 2 to really suck me in. I personally love Black Flag. Not only was it a really well-made Assassin's Creed game, but also one of the best pirate games ever. And it is just really sad to see all of that gone in this game, and they have pretty much just gone back to the older games in the series. Then again, I think I would want them to really take the time to incorporate ships into the next generation, because if we get to use them again, I want to be able to be blown away, like it did for me in Black Flag. Assassin's Creed Unity is not a bad game. It is not completely terrible like most people make it out to be. Sure, they got rid of everything that made Black Flag awesome, and the game is quite buggy and can distract you every now and then, but I think they did a really good job with the assassination missions. They are a big step in the right direction, and I enjoyed some of the side missions, although in saying this, most of the game can be very same old, especially with the revenge story being reused. So overall, I give Assassin's Creed Unity a fair 7 out of 10. This game does have problems, but then again, I think the game is being treated too unfairly. Sure, the game to this day could still be buggy, but my overall experience with Unity, I had quite a decent time, and I'm quite excited at what could come in the future. I swear, if they mix aspects of Unity with Black Flag, it could be one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever. Do that for me, please. So what did you guys think of Assassin's Creed Unity? Do you think they did enough over Black Flag? Because Black Flag was just, to me, a perfect Assassin's Creed game. Do you think they did enough? And if you have any questions about the game, remember to leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you. And if you liked this review, remember to like me on Facebook or subscribe to me on YouTube if you want to see more. And thank you very much, guys, for watching my review of Assassin's Creed Unity. It is more same old, but a beautiful world filled with AI. It just looks amazing, even if it's buggy at times, but I still think this game is better than Assassin's Creed 3. Anyways, MAT5 is bloody out of here.